Next up to the open mic.
Thank you.
Y'all make some noise for what we need in life, what we need in this world, what we need to live righteously. You feel me then? The next performer goes by the name of Peace. Make some noise for Peace. Let's go.
Hey, so my name is Peace. That is my birth name. I was born with it, born out of country. It's a great story. So I won't tell you it, but it's an awesome story. So I do like improv poetry, I do improv poetry. So the way that works is I like to get the audience to interact with me, and we just kind of like go with the energy of the night. So how are you guys feeling? You feeling good? Are you feeling happy? Are you alive? Are you like, yeah, you're here, you're present, this is good, okay? Energy is building, this is good stuff, okay? So I need 3 words.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
2.
Curious?
2.
Peace.
2, like the number? 2. So I got 2, nostalgia, curious, and did you say peace?
Fossils.
You said fossils instead. Oh, that works. Ooh, you see that connection on your own? She already knows my.
I know.
Okay, that happened. That really just happened. So nostalgia, fossils, curious, and 2, the number. All right. We've got 2 people in the story, and they are hanging out, going for a walk, talking about the old times, talking about them good old times, back in the day, back in my day, back in your day, back in more your day than my day, because you're older, right? JK, that's me. No, but this is just our talk. So these 2 people are like, they're walking, they're talking about how it has been, as if their history is buried somewhere deep, as if their history is just fossils, as if their story is not now, as if their story isn't even happening as they're recanting the story that has passed. But these people are just talking. They're just doing what we do. We always forget that our stories are still true, even as we're remembering the stories that have passed us too, because we are building something in the moment, and it's present, and it's here, and it's so here. In fact, it's just so here. Can't really ignore it because it's so here. In fact, what are you trying to say here? So let's go back to the story of the 2 people walking and what they're saying about their past time now. They're talking about what they have been through, what they have overcome, the things that they had heard, and in fact, they're thinking, it might be possible for me to do this too, because when I look back at the stories, when I see what the people have done, when I hear what they have done, then I think, me too, son, I can do this, I can overcome. And so yeah, let's keep walking, let's keep talking, let's keep building with our imagination and hope that someday it will translate to the world and the very situation that I inhabit in right now. Let's just hope the story isn't just story time, that it actually builds into somebody help me shout out in the middle of this poetry. I forgot that other word, so someone throw it out at me. I think it was curiosity. Wait, okay, it was curiosity. Now we're talking about why these 2 were curious about the past in the first place. I think it was because they didn't realize that their past and their present and their future are so intertwined, so tied up together, that they actually really aren't the same, because maybe the one who created the whole game is not tied to time in the first place. And so while we're walking looking for tomorrow, worried about what happened yesterday, he looks at it from a whole different perspective. And so yesterday and the future and today are all the same. And this guy's not scared about where I'm going because he's already been there. He's not worried about what I'm going to do because he's already seen there. So there were no surprises. He just watches me. And I go, oh, so while these 2 are talking about the past and thinking about tomorrow and living out their story today, it's all kind of happening at the same time, without time, because it's not just time. Time is our truth, but time is not just the truth, because some people are living outside of time. And I want to be that kind of person. I want to be liberated beyond the limitations of my human nature. So I don't want to just live in today or in the earth or in the laws that I know right now. Help me to be freer than that. Help me to think bigger than that, because it's not just the legacy when I die. I want to live in a world that is beyond time. I don't want to wait for the legacy. I'll build the legacy now. I'll speak the legacy now. I'll believe the legacy now. And like these 2 that are walking, the 2 that are talking, man, I hope that even the legacy I'm not aware of is bright. I hope that the legacy that I don't even think I'm writing is right. I hope that the message that I can give to the people around me is the way that it's got to be. It's got to be a little bit bigger than just when I think they're listening. Because what happens when I don't even think that I'm listening and I'm staring at a reflection saying crazy things to me? I want to make sure that it's always kind of okay. So I like to ask the person above me who sees things a little bit differently than I do, because his vantage and perspective aren't limited like mine. So I turn my eyes to the sky and I ask the Lord, where am I going? And what do you want? And the reason I talk to him so much is because why would I talk to someone else that is limited like me? Someone who needs to look back can't remember all things, but I know someone who sees all things. And so I look to him and I ask him, hey, God, what do you think I need to do now? And my prayer is my lifeline, so I toss it. And I toss it with assurance because I know that he's got it. He's not limited like me. He's not walking. He's walked it. He carried it. He bought it. He died for it. It's fine. And so that's what I believe. It's not everyone's story. It's not everyone's belief, but it's mine. And I'll tell you that that's why I'm okay with not knowing, because while I'm going, he's already gone. And so I'm good. Thank you. That was my like improv with the and like, you know, I like working with the people. But I want to do another improv that's just coming from my mind. But I like to do that because I want to help. Thank you. I like to help people understand like what's happening in my process. You know, I really am building the story as I'm here, because I do get questions like that, like, "Are you sure? Did you make that up?" Like, no, this is all real. It's very authentic moment. So this next poem that I want to do. Thank you. It's really cathartic, you know, like try this at home. Walk around your house and shout stuff, like no one will judge you, you know. This next one I was thinking about on the train, just like the term becoming. It was just good. Okay, so I'll tell you the backstory. There was an ad on the train, and it said, it was some like college ad, like become a graphic designer. And I thought to myself, that's a really good way to put it, because you're not just something. You kind of have to get there, you know what I mean? And so like really becoming comfortable with the becoming process is like the biggest part, you know? I think like sometimes we get so hard on ourselves when we're not that thing without thinking I'm on my way, you know? And like being on the way is like a really, really okay place to be. So I really want to just talk about becoming, because I think that process is beautiful. Okay, so here we go. Everybody always wants to talk about the caterpillar or the butterfly. Ain't nobody think about the cocoon. No. Because what happens? You weren't there, I wasn't there, it was just the caterpillar wrapped up in itself, and so nobody thinks about the cocoon. It's long, it's awkward. Just like that, no one really thinks about the womb. It's long, it's awkward, and we're not there because it's kind of dark in there. So it's like this time of the in-betweens. It's like something we're not really into, but we're always in, too. I find myself there, by myself sometimes, not even in twos, not even in pairs. There's times when I'm there by myself, and so I wonder, how do we keep skipping the process that we're all in? You know? And so, in-betweens, how do we skip the in-betweens? Why is it always point A and point B? What about the journey? What's going on in between? I'm really thinking this in-between is the biggest part of the story, because when I read, I don't read cover to cover, I read the pages in between. So I am wondering about the becoming process, and why it is that we don't want to process journey and act as if journey is the problem, when journey is actually the goal. Journey is a thing that we're digging for, and we don't even realize that we're digging for it. So we're digging past it, walking past it, and that is actually our gifting there. It's what we've been waiting for, and it's happening here. And so why am I so mad about waiting? Why am I so mad about changing? Why am I so mad about who I'm becoming and why I'm not there yet? So what if it's not now? So what if it's a process, and so what, it happens over time? But I want to become that. And I don't want to fight my becoming process the whole time, so my testimony sounds like I hated every moment of it, but then I became it, so what up? I want it to sound like I leaned into it and it felt weird, but I trusted it and hoped that the process would guide me. And somewhere along the way, I found myself changing, and it was okay. And now I have grown to trust the things that I don't know, and know that I will never fully know. And even when I'm gone, there'll be things I hadn't learned, but I had gone through it, and people learned from watching me. So hopefully my in-between process is the miracle, and I can lean into it, and I don't have to die wondering what had happened, but just realizing that I had been there, and that things were happening. And I could put faith in what I don't understand, knowing that even if I wasn't fully aware of all of what was happening, that there was something. Even though it sounded like silence, even though it felt like stillness, there was something. Even though I still found myself wondering how to pay the things that needed to be paid, there was actually a shifting, causing miracle tides to send money waves my way to make that miracle payment with a story I can't explain. And so I wonder to myself, how do you afford a city like New York? But I see myself here a few decades strong, and I'm wondering, hey, miracles, they work. And so it's the in-between. That's the process that keeps me coming back for more. It's the long journey, that silent haul, when we're talking about who shows up. I hope it's me, because it would be really awkward if I missed my own story. Don't you think? Woo, thank you.
Come on.
My Instagram is Piece of Fure, so it's PEACEOFURE_. And also, because we're live, I want to say thank you for sticking around if any of you did, and if you didn't, you can watch it at the end. It'll be great.